to the 3.5 episode of Anime After Hours. 3.5, that sounds so weird. Anyway, it's been a long time since I've seen you guys for a full episode. In that time, Thor came out. It was a box office hit. But Marvel still has to worry about selling Guardians of the Galaxy. See, when I say that name, all of you are tabbing over to Wikipedia to know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Good luck selling that, Marvel. Speaking of Guardians of the Galaxy, Dave Bautista is coming back to the WWE because he can't handle real fighting anymore. BAM! Take that. You know what's also returning? The Powerpuff Girls, done in a new CGI style. Well, you know, just to train the new animators in Flash. It still won't replace Johnny Test. Nothing will replace Johnny Test. God damn it. You know, coming out soon in the video game world is Final Fantasy XIII, Lightning Returns. Because Square won't let that setting die. It won't let it die. Final Fantasy XV is still set in that world. For shame, Square. For shame. In lighter news, Peter Parker is coming back to being Spider-Man after being mind-swapped with Dr. Octopus. So, you know, everybody, thank Mephisto for this shocking piece of news. Really shocking. We have a great show for you tonight. We have the Tuski Mochi Cosplay Cafe and Bobble Kitty Comics. So, we'll have scenes from the couch after this. Hello and welcome back to Anime After Hours. So Captain America just got released this week. Good movie. In fact, best Marvel movie out there. Well, if you're going to see Avengers Age of Ultron, you're going to have to see this movie. It's like Avengers 1.5.
I know, starring Black Falcon.
Not starring Black Falcon, but co-starring Black Falcon. It's starring the Human Torch.
The Human Torch and his amazing friends.
But no, really, I'm really impressed with what Marvel is doling out. In fact, Captain America 3 has already been announced, and they're planning on releasing it at the same time as the Batman-Superman movie.
Batman
and Superman.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sounds like that's going to be a fun weekend.
It is. And they can do that because...
You know, other than mega ultra serious Superman being on the scene, but whatever.
Well, that's what I'm going to say, but they can actually do that because, honestly, I'm going to, put my first weekend money into Captain America. I mean, I'm going to watch both movies, but I'm definitely going to watch Captain America, if anything at all.
We got to make sure we go on opening night, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Buffalo Wild Wings. Or Chili's.
That works.
That works.
Anyway.
Super mega serious Superman. I mean, DC doesn't make its movies about the characters. It's always about whatever issues. It's
as I've been saying for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
DC always has the best villains.
Yeah.
Marvel has always had the best heroes.
Yeah.
You don't watch for the story of the heroes when it comes. For me personally, when it comes to watching anything DC.
Yeah.
When I want to watch DC, I want to watch Batman and Joker. Like, we all know the Batman story.
Yeah.
There's no reason to go over it again and again. Again anymore.
Well, so that's why The Dark Knight works, because it was basically all about the Joker.
Like, there's a few instances in which they brought up his past, but
yeah,
not enough to count to me.
Yeah, and that, with the Joker, that works because he's always his past has always been like shrouded,
ridiculously iffy.
ridiculously iffy. He doesn't even know what his past is. But yeah, DC does not have good characters like for the movies. So the movies start to sound like soapbox things. Just the writers getting on their soapbox about this issue about why Superman is good or Superman is bad. This issue about Batman, like the Dark Knight could have basically been anarchy and its effect on society and Batman.
Okay.
That's how I feel. But when they talk about a Wonder Woman movie, being the one thing Marvel doesn't do.
I really hope they do that well. It's hard to do
Yeah.
a Wonder Woman movie.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, yeah. I hope that it's done well, but I know it's probably not going to be done well, especially if it's being done in the style of the Superman Batman movies. Because
Actually, no, it might work a little bit better for her.
Mhm.
Just because she has always been a very serious character.
Yeah.
It's just my issue with Superman being a serious character. It's just they totally butcher the Boy Scout that he was.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And what the heck happened to his uncle? Why did that happen? The tornado thing?
Yeah.
That was such BS.
Yeah. So, and that's why I like the Marvel movies. They're all character movies. We get to see the great characters of Tony Stark, of Steve Rogers.
It's like they totally switched. Like, I'm going back to that previous subject we
Okay.
were just talking
Okay.
about. It's like the new Spider-Man movie and the new Superman movie totally swapped places because Uncle Ben dies by tornado. And just before he's like, with great power comes great responsibility,
Whee!
which is basically what happened,
Yeah.
to Superman. And then in the Spider-Man movie, if memory serves correctly, he didn't even die.
Well, he died, in the second act. He got the spider powers and he was playing with them, but he didn't don the costume until Uncle Ben died. Yeah.
I need to watch that movie again.
Yeah.
I think the number one thing I remember about it has to be the ending where he's like, promises were meant to be broken.
That was a stupid ending. Thank God it's not in line with the Avengers movies. Can you imagine?
Even if they do, it's going to be a really weird crossover.
Yeah.
I have to say, I still like the old guy
Yeah.
for the role as Spider-Man.
The
but only
original
the
ones?
first movie.
Yeah.
Only the first movie of Spider-Man. Tobey Maguire?
Yeah.
That's his name.
Yeah.
I have to say, I really liked him in the first Spider-Man. Then the second one kind of went downhill. Then the third one was just god-awful.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Yeah. So,
Anyway.
yeah. So, all in all, Marvel movies are good, and this is going to start and say a fan war between DC and Marvel. Although I don't think any DC fanboys will rise up to defend Man of Steel or the Dark Knight trilogy. Probably the Dark Knight trilogy, but those aren't bad movies. They're just
I don't think many people have complained about that.
Yeah.
Except for Bane.
Yeah.
What the heck's with Bane?
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, he's really awesome, but I've always seen Bane as the muscle head. Not exactly all that intelligent, not that super villainy.
Yeah.
And I know he was just watching out for the chick who was the actual super villain,
Yeah.
but why?
Yeah, and that was just like a last minute twist. Like, oh, by the way, I'm Talia.
Pretty much.
But, speaking of comic books, though, our guests tonight write their own comics, Bobble Kitty Comics. And they asked us to show this trailer, and we'll just roll it now.
Hello?
Welcome back to Anime After Hours. Our first guest is the Tuski Mochi Cosplay Cafe. Hello. Hey y'all. You are a cosplay cafe. You don't see that in the States much. How does something like this start?
Well, about 3 years ago, me and another girl had an idea. We both liked maid cafes and we were both big into Vocaloids. And we decided why not try having a Vocaloid maid cafe. So we put out a post online and these are who showed up.
So, do you guys work on your costumes like on your own time, or do you work on them together?
Well, it depends on the theme. For some themes that we want to look more uniformed, we, have one person do them. But some of our themes, like Black Butler or our Adventure Time theme, we'll actually do those individually and then come together and kind of help each other tweak the costumes until they're perfect.
And how do you guys decide who dresses as what? Or who?
It goes a lot based off of height and what kind of face shape you have. Like, for example, I'm very short made, so I get stuck with a lot of the short characters.
So, what does a cosplay cafe do exactly?
Well,
we run around in characters.
yeah, pretty much you buy a ticket and you come in and we do a couple of dances, we play some games, we serve you cake and a beverage, and
Yes, we do a lot of improv, basically. Every once in a while in our cafes we'll have skits, but usually it's just trying to get to know our character and then becoming that person for the cafe.
So you do skits and also dances, as we'll see later on tonight. How long are the rehearsals for those? Or how much do you rehearse for those?
Well, we rehearse usually about once a week. I end up with all these movers in my house.
Yes.
They raid my pantry. I have to go grocery shopping when they go home.
Yes.
So we practice at her house at least once a week. That's when we take care of most of our meeting business. And then once it comes time for the actual cafe to happen, we try to have as many practices as we possibly can beforehand to best equip ourselves.
I noticed that you added to our wall here, our wall of nerdiness. Does one person own all of this, or is it like one?
It's all mine. We do have other things, but she was the only one who brought stuff.
And do you regularly decorate your cafes with some of this, or?
Yeah.
oh yeah,
We've had lemonade bottles, we've had our figurines on the table.
wall scrolls all over the place.
We definitely like to personalize each of our cafes for the theme and just make it seem more like a cafe and not like you're just in a room at a convention.
So cafe implies food. You serve, what kind of stuff do you serve?
We normally serve dessert type foods, cakes, cheesecakes, cookies, those kind of things. Coffee, tea. It really, because of how most hotels and venues run, it's normally up to catering and the actual convention as to what we serve or what we're able to serve. But when we kind of do things on our own, we like to go really extreme with the fancy desserts.
When you say extreme, what do you mean, like a really
For
fancy?
example, we're going to be having another Italia cafe and we get to make our own food. I'm England, so I'm going to be making little tiny red velvet whoopie pies that have a British flag piped on top of them.
Wow.
Borscht.
Yeah, for our Italian theme, we want to do foods from around the world
Oh,
that
that's
are
interesting.
desserts.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Well, thank you for coming on to the show. It's very appreciated. You have no idea how much we appreciate this. That was the Tuski Mochi Cosplay Cafe, everybody. Welcome back to Anime After Hours, and here with me is our second guest, Bobble Kitty Comics. So, who are you girls, individually?
I'm Gina Trujillo. And I'm Sonia Gonzalez.
And, what does Bobble Kitty Comics do? You know, you make comics, but what is Bobble Kitty Comics?
Bobble Kitty Comics is hosted on BobbleKitty.com. We've got a blog there, and we have a free webcomic that posts once a week.
And that webcomic is called Narun Talk, is that right? What is that about?
Narun Talk is this story about a young woman who washes up on an uncharted island. There she encounters all kinds of crazy creatures, magical beings, and these natives who are heavily tattooed and run around in loincloths all the time. They tell her she is what is called a Naruntak, which is someone from the land outside, and that every time a Naruntak comes, they have a special power, and they bring very good luck to the village. And all the while, this girl is just saying, look, I'm just a normal person, and I want to go home.
So, what are some of the inspirations going into this story?
Well, we have a whole lot of sources of inspiration. I mean, all the time we're finding various images online and in comics, media, movies, everything.
I'm trying to include a lot of references to the real world, real jungles. You know, there's fantastic architecture all over the world. And so we're trying to pull inspiration out of that.
And the story itself, what you were telling me before the show, is inspired a lot by Escaflowne, right?
It is in some ways. I mean, when you read it, it is a dramatically different story from Escaflowne. But it all started because that's one of Sonya's favorite anime. And not to give away spoilers of anything, I won't say, but one day she comes to me and goes, you know what? Let's do Escaflowne, but with an ending that doesn't suck. And that was kind of what started us, and it's really fun having her as a co-writer because she hasn't really grown up as a writer like I have, so she doesn't have all these things pounded into her head of this is how you have to do it and you can't do things like this. So personally, I would never be like, well, I'm going to do Escaflowne but with an ending that doesn't suck. So at first I was like, I don't know what you want to do. And she said, well, there's a girl who gets washed up on an uncharted island. Go! And within just a few months, we had an entire comic. It was fantastic.
It started out sort of, not quite a fan fiction, but I was heavily inspired by it, wanting to make my own.
So, you both like take the duties. Like both of you write, both of you draw to an extent, and so everything's a team effort with you guys.
For the most part, it really is. I mean, we plot out the stories together, we talk them out back and forth, we come up with these ideas like, well, what if this happened instead, and we redo stuff sometimes. But I'm the one who writes out the scripts and edits them. I do pencils on the pages, and then I give them to her, and she does the colors.
Yes, I think if coloring could be my job, I would be the happiest person.
And this is just one of many planned comics, but since this went so much detail goes into it, it's, this is your only project so far.
So far it is. We'd like to get to a point where we can do 2 pages a week. Right now we're releasing 1 a week. So once we get to that point, we might be able to branch out to other projects, but currently this one is very heavy.
Yes, they're full page pictures, full color, everything. And it isn't our job. So this is a labor of love, so got to work around other things.
Of course. And you guys do have other ideas. What are some of those other ideas?
Well, we have ideas ranging from space pirates to zombies, short comic strips, podcasts. We do not have a lack for ideas. We just need to find time to get them all out there.
Yeah, I know how that is. Yeah. Well, I want to thank you again for coming on to the show and conducting this interview. After this, we have another performance from the Tuski Mochi Cosplay Cafe girls. And that's it. So, from me, I've been Rico Fernandez. You've been you. This has been Bobble Kitty.
Come on.
now.
Thank you, Christian.
Come on, guys. Come on. Chop chop in the editing department.
Okay.
So, how long do you think my camera's been off?
Why? Do you want to do that again?
No.
Okay.